Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. In this video, I wanted to give you some general advice on NEET UG and your MCAT exam in 2020. I'm not going to talk about how to study for the exam because I gave mine like 4 years ago. So I'm not very up to date on what is going on these days and what type of questions you get. So I will be giving you a more general and generic advice and things I wish I knew when I went for my entrance exam. The first thing that I want to talk about is taking care of your physical and mental health. Now, I know that this sounds very generic. This sounds like something that everybody says these days, but it is one of the most crucial, one of the most important advice I can give you. If you're not physically and mentally healthy during the preparation time and on the test day, the chances of you doing well are significantly less. You have to know that just knowing the things and knowing the information is not it. You have to reproduce that information on the test day as well, and the only way you can do it is when you feel physically and mentally healthy. I remember going for this one mock exam, like my first mock exam, during the preparation time, and being completely out of it. Like midway during the test, I became delirious. There was a haze in front of my eyes, and I realized it because I didn't have breakfast that morning and I wasn't physically well to do good on the exam. So I want you to know that you have to be very physically and mentally healthy to do well in your exam. It could be as simple as going for a walk, which I did for the entirety of my preparation time. I used to go for walks on a daily basis so that I'm active and I see the outside world and I'm not spending my entire day in a room. The second thing I want to talk about is focusing on the goal and not on the people around you. It is very easy to absorb the negative energy some people give out. There will be so many people who will tell you and would talk down upon you, tell you that you're not good enough, that you can't, that you won't be able to crack it, that it's such a hard exam, that there is no way you'll be able to get in. You have to learn how to block these people out. And by that I mean that if you have to get rid of your social media for a couple of months, if you have to get rid of some of these toxic friends, do that. Don't wait on it, don't think about it, just do it, because you have to focus on your goal and not on these people. The third thing that I want to talk about is you have to learn how to filter out the advice. Now, when I started my preparation, there was so much advice out there on how to study for the exam. There were like so many resources to go through. There were so many questions to do. People would suggest this coaching center, that coaching center. There was just so much information out there that I was very perplexed on what was right and what was not. You have to realize that somebody else's journey can't be yours. Your journey is yours, and nobody else knows how you perform the best or how you study the best. By that I mean that you have to know that which advice is right for you and which is not, and then you have to filter it out. I decided not to join any coaching center and stay at home and study at home, because YouTube has always helped me way more than teachers have, and I realized to stick to that theory and just give all my energy at home, all alone on my own, because I'm not even that social of a person. I don't even like studying with a lot of people. It's just not my thing. So I figured out what works for me, and then I decided to stick to it. So many people were surprised and were asking me, how is this going to work? But I knew what I was doing. So even if other people tell you differently, but you're sure that what you're doing is right, stick to it. Take the advice, learn from the experience, but at the end, do what feels right to you and do not listen to others. Another thing I want to talk about is studying smartly and not, like study smart, not hard. Everybody says that, and during this MCAT period, what that means is that before you start your preparation, make sure you make a list of things that you need to go through. I always suggest that before you just dive right into the preparation, make sure you have already made a schedule, make sure you know what are the more important chapters, make sure you know what resources you'll be using. So have a solid plan which helps you to study smartly, and that would automatically help you to save some time to do other things and not just study during this entire period. One more thing, this is the only advice, that study advice I'm going to give you in this video, is to solve practice exams. I know that initially it could be very daunting to pick up a practice exam and do it, because you always question yourself like, oh my god, what if I don't do well in the practice exam, what if I fuck up? But that's the thing about practice exam, they're there for your practice and to help you learn. You don't only assess yourself from those exams, you also learn from them. So use your practice exam as a learning tool and do as many as you can and as often as you can, because trust me, practice exam will make a significant difference in your scores. So do lots and lots of questions and do lots and lots of practice exams, and you will see the difference, trust me on that. Okay, the second last thing that I wanna talk about is, it doesn't really matter how many hours you spend studying during the entire preparation period. It doesn't really matter how many work you put in during the entire preparation period if you can't reproduce the results during the test. If you can't, do your best in the test room when you're giving the exam. So you have to realize that the test day determines the score, right? It's not about what you did before. So you have to know that that on the test day you have to be hydrated enough, you must have eaten your breakfast, you feel refreshed and active and ready to crack the exam. Make sure that you for the like you're not studying right like don't study on the morning of your test day, right? That's just, I don't know why people do that. You can easily get overwhelmed by that. In fact, I advise just shutting your books a couple of days before the test day, so that you're relaxed, you're very relaxed, and you're in a state of mind that is ready to take on the exam. You might, because if you're still revising things even like 15 minutes before your test, that just makes you anxious, and you don't want to feel that way. All right. So yeah, also one last thing before I go is that if you're one of those people who do really well on the test, I want you to tell yourself this. Just, as soon as you get the result, I want you to stand in front of a mirror and tell yourself that this was just one competitive exam, and just because I did really well in that doesn't mean that I'm the smartest person in the room. You have to realize that scores on any competitive exam just mean that you did well on that competitive exam. That doesn't make you smarter, more intelligent, or the most smart person and the most intelligent person in the room. You have to be humble, be down to earth, even after you score well. Stop being a dick. That's not the way to go about it, right? If you're one of those people who did terrible on the test day, I want you to know that it's just one competitive exam in the entirety of your life. You are mostly in the age bracket of 17, 18, 19 when you give competitive exams like these. And just that's just a very young age to put your entire self-worth into one competitive exam. So just trust me that even if you fuck up, even if you do terribly on the test, you can still get back up, come back next year, or choose an entirely different field and do well in that. It's just one exam. It is not the end of the world. Doesn't matter what your padoswali auntie says, what your parents says, or what anyone else says. Someone who is going to complete her medical journey in a couple of months, I want you to know that this is not the only profession out there, and this might be a dream to you right now, but if you don't do well on the exam and if you don't get in, and during that time it might feel like your life won't matter anymore, but trust me, it's not how the world works. The world doesn't revolve around you and that competitive exam. You'll be fine, you'll move on, you'll do other things in life. You're way too young. So that's pretty much it. I hope this video was helpful. This is a very generic general advice video, and I wanted to do something like this for quite some time. So if this was helpful, then please like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel. I plan to do more beheaded videos like this. So yeah, see you in the next one. Bye.